I was pregnant and bedridden, relying on my husband and his parents for everything. One morning, I woke up to find my fridge empty. My mother-in-law had taken the food because you don't deserve to be fed like a queen. I called my husband. He said, "She's trying to teach you strength." That same day, I called someone I hadn't spoken to in years. I never wanted to be in this position. I've always taken care of myself. I worked full-time as a dental assistant, paid my bills, handled my own life. I'm not weak. I never was. But my pregnancy changed everything. At 27 weeks, I started bleeding heavily one morning. Tyler rushed me to the hospital. They ran tests, did an ultrasound, and told me I had a placental abruption. It wasn't bad enough to deliver early, but it was serious. I had to stay on strict bed rest until the baby came. That meant no walking except to the bathroom. No stairs. No standing more than a few minutes. Nothing. We couldn't afford a nurse. My job didn't offer paid leave, and Tyler's job barely covered rent and bills. He said his parents would move in and help. I didn't love the idea. I've never been close to them, especially his mom. Denise has always treated me like I'm not good enough for her son. I remember the first Thanksgiving I spent with them after Tyler and I got engaged. She told me, while she was setting the table, "You're not really a part of this family yet." She said it with a smile, but it felt like a slap. Still, I agreed. I was scared. I didn't want to lose the baby. So they moved in the next week. Denise and her husband, Martin, drove down from Idaho Falls to stay with us in our small place in Spokane. At first, things were fine. Denise made dinner, brought me breakfast in bed. Martin fixed a leaky faucet and changed out the light bulbs. Tyler worked long hours, but he'd check in every night. I thought it might actually work out. That lasted about 2 weeks. Denise started making small comments. At first it was subtle. "Oh, still lying down? You must be bored doing nothing all day." I had 3 kids and never once stayed in bed. When I was pregnant, I was still milking cows. "You girls today are soft." I tried to let it go. I figured she was just being her usual cold self. But then she started slamming cabinets when she made me food. Or she'd bring it hours late and cold. Sometimes she wouldn't bring anything unless I texted her 3 times. One day, she said out loud in front of Martin and Tyler, maybe if she skipped a few meals, she'd find the strength to walk. I stared at her, stunned. Tyler didn't say a word. He just sighed and looked at his phone. I started stashing snacks in my nightstand. Granola bars, trail mix, crackers. I felt like a prisoner in my own house. Every time I asked for something, Denise rolled her eyes. Martin was quiet, but he never stopped her. I told Tyler it was getting to be too much. He told me to just tune her out. He said she was doing us a favor. Then came the morning everything cracked open. It was a Thursday. I woke up feeling sick. The baby had been kicking hard all night, and I hadn't slept more than a couple hours. I was starving. I called out, "Denise?" No answer. "Martin?" Nothing. So I got up. My legs were shaky, and my back hurt like hell. I leaned on the hallway walls and made my way to the kitchen. When I opened the fridge, I froze. It was completely empty. Not just the leftovers. Everything. No milk. No eggs. No fruit. Even the condiments were gone. I opened the freezer. Same thing. Empty. I thought maybe they went grocery shopping. But then I saw the trash bins outside through the kitchen window, overflowing with grocery bags and containers. I heard the front door open. Denise walked in, holding new grocery bags. I asked, "Where's the food?" She didn't even flinch. "I took it to church. There's a family there who actually works for their meals." I just stared at her. "I'm on bed rest. I can't work right now." She said, "You're pregnant, not dying. Maybe if you had to move to feed yourself, you'd get better faster." I felt my throat close up. My stomach twisted. I picked up my phone and called Tyler. He answered on the second ring. I said, "Your mom took all the food. She left nothing. She said I don't deserve to eat." There was a pause. Then he said, "She's trying to teach you strength." My vision blurred. I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "You need to stop acting like a victim. My mom's old-fashioned. She thinks you'll feel better if you push yourself." I hung up. I stood in the kitchen for a while, staring at the empty fridge. I couldn't stop shaking. I didn't even cry at first. I just stood there until my legs gave out and I had to sit down on the floor. Then I lost it. I sat on the tile floor, crying until my face hurt. And then I picked up my phone. I went through old contacts. I don't know what I was looking for, maybe anyone who would care. And then I saw her name. Amanda. My older sister. We hadn't talked in 4 years. The last time we spoke, she told me she didn't trust Tyler. She said he always found a way to make everything about him. I told her to mind her own business. We screamed at each other. I hung up and blocked her number. But I unblocked her now. I didn't know if she'd even answer. I called. It rang. Once. Twice. 4 times. She picked up. "Hello?" I could barely talk. "Amanda. It's me. I need help." Silence. Then her voice, calm but sharp, "Where are you?" I told her. She said, "Don't move. I'll be there in 5 hours." She was. She drove straight from Tacoma. Didn't ask permission. Didn't call ahead. Just showed up. And when she walked into my house and saw the way I was living, she looked at me like I was a stranger. "You need to get out of here," she said. And for the first time in months, I started to believe I could. Amanda didn't yell. She didn't scream or call names. She just looked around with those sharp eyes of hers, taking everything in like she was making a list in her head. The first thing she said was, "Where's your go bag?" I blinked. "My what?" "Your hospital bag. For when the baby comes." I told her I hadn't packed it yet. Denise had said it was too early, and I'd just been too tired. Amanda stared at me for a second. "You're 32 weeks. And these people didn't even help you pack a bag?" She went straight to the bedroom and started throwing clothes into one. My robe. Socks. Leggings. Anything clean. She didn't ask. She just did it. Denise came home from one of her volunteer shifts and found Amanda going through the closet. She stopped in the doorway, arms crossed. "Who are you?" she said like she already knew and didn't care. Amanda didn't even turn around. "Her sister. And you should be ashamed." Denise let out this nasty little laugh. "Oh, one of those. Figures." Amanda stood up straight. "One of what?" "You women who come in and stir up trouble. She was fine before you came around." Amanda took one step forward and said, "You emptied her fridge and left her hungry while she's on bed rest." She wasn't fine. She was surviving. That was when Tyler came home. He walked in, took one look at Amanda, and rolled his eyes. "Of course you called her." I said nothing. I was sitting on the couch, holding my belly, trying not to cry again. Tyler tossed his keys on the counter. "You always want drama. You didn't call a nurse. You didn't call a friend. You called Amanda, who hates me." Amanda didn't miss a beat. She didn't need a nurse. She needed someone who gave a damn. Tyler looked at me. "Are you really going to let her turn this into a scene?" That's when I felt it, a sharp, sudden pain in my stomach. I gasped and leaned forward. Amanda rushed to me, grabbing my arm. "What's wrong?" "I don't know, it hurts," I said, holding my side. Denise said from across the room, "It's probably gas." Amanda ignored her. "You're going to the hospital. Now." Tyler said, "She's not due for weeks." Amanda turned on him, her voice ice cold. "Shut up. You're not a doctor." Amanda helped me up and got me into her car. She didn't wait for Tyler to follow. At the ER, the pain was still coming in waves. The nurses hooked me up to monitors. They said I was having contractions. Preterm labor. I ended up staying 2 nights. They gave me meds to stop the contractions and steroids for the baby's lungs. The whole time, Amanda stayed with me. She held my hand when I cried. She rubbed my back. She made sure I ate every meal. She even bought me a pack of warm socks from the hospital gift shop. Tyler came once. For 20 minutes. He sat in the chair, didn't say much. Told me he had to get back to work. He didn't ask how I was feeling. He didn't touch me. When he left, Amanda looked at me and said, "You see it now, don't you?" I nodded. I didn't want to. I didn't want to admit it. But yeah. I saw it. He didn't care. Not really. Not when things got hard. Not when I needed him most. After I was discharged, Amanda drove me home. But I didn't go back to that house. She booked us a room at a small, clean motel with a kitchenette. She said, "You're not stepping foot back in there until we figure things out." The next day, she called a lawyer she knew from back in Tacoma. A woman named Cheryl. I didn't even know what I wanted yet, but Amanda said, "Just talk to her. Get your options." Cheryl was blunt. She told me if I wanted to leave Tyler, I needed to be smart. Quiet. Careful. She said, "You're married. You're pregnant. You have rights, but so does he. If you make a move too fast, he could complicate things." I asked her, "Can he take the baby?" She said, "Not without a fight. Not if we do this right." That night, back at the motel, Amanda made spaghetti and garlic bread in the little kitchenette. We sat on the bed and ate watching reruns of Judge Judy. I couldn't stop thinking about how calm everything felt. Nobody yelling. Nobody making me feel like I was a burden. And then my phone lit up. A text from Tyler. "If you don't come home by tomorrow, I'm telling everyone you ran off. Don't test me." I showed Amanda. She stared at the screen, then said, "He's bluffing. But now we have to move faster." That's when we made a plan. Amanda didn't waste time. The next morning, she got me a burner phone from a gas station and helped me set up a new email address. "From now on," she said, "you don't respond to him unless it's through this." We called Cheryl again. She said we'd need proof, texts, voicemails, photos. Anything to show emotional abuse, neglect, or control. Amanda and I went through my phone, screenshotting everything. All the times I texted Tyler asking for food, his dry replies, his cold responses to my pain. We even found a message he'd sent to his buddy 3 weeks earlier that I'd never seen until then. It said, "She's milking this pregnancy for sympathy. My mom is right, she needs to toughen up." That one hit hard. I'd been lying in bed bleeding, cramping, scared I was going to lose my baby. And he thought I was faking it for attention. Amanda forwarded the message to Cheryl immediately. The next twist came fast. Denise texted me that night. "If you're not back by Friday, we're changing the locks. Your things will be left on the porch." I read it 3 times before I could speak. Amanda took my phone, snapped a photo of the screen, and said, "She just made it easy for us." Then something weird happened. Cheryl called back the next morning, a little shaken. She said she looked into some property records for us, just in case things got messy with the house. That's when she found something we didn't expect. The lease wasn't under my name. It wasn't under Tyler's either. The house we were living in was owned, fully owned, by Martin and Denise. They never told me. Tyler never told me. Which meant if they wanted to kick me out, legally, they could. They didn't even need a reason. I sat there in that motel room, 6 months pregnant, wondering how many lies I'd swallowed just to survive in that house. Amanda sat down beside me and said, "You know what this means, right?" I nodded. I was never really welcome. Not even in my own home. We had to move faster now. Cheryl said she'd draft an emergency separation agreement. If I wanted to file for divorce and secure my rights over the baby, I needed to do it before they tried something shady. Like claiming I'd abandoned the household. We also had another problem. My health insurance. It was under Tyler's plan. If I left him, I could lose coverage before the birth. Cheryl said we could use that to pressure him later. He won't want to look like the guy who cut his pregnant wife's insurance out of spite. But then, that same afternoon, we got another curveball. Amanda's car was keyed. We'd only left it in the motel lot for 2 hours while we went to the pharmacy. When we came back, the side had deep scratches. One word etched in all caps, whore. Amanda looked at it. Then looked at me. They found us. I felt like I couldn't breathe. She filed a police report, but we both knew they wouldn't do much. There were no cameras, no witnesses. It was our word against whoever did it. That night, we moved to a different motel 20 miles away. Amanda paid in cash. We used the burner phone to contact Cheryl. Things got tense fast. Tyler sent a new text that night, "You're making a huge mistake. You're ruining our family. You'll regret this." Then, "I want a paternity test. I'm not raising someone else's kid." That one made me sick. He knew the baby was his. There had never been anyone else. That was pure spite. Amanda took one look at that message and said, "Let's give him exactly what he wants, on paper. We'll file now." The next morning, Cheryl submitted the emergency paperwork. She sent a process server to Tyler's job to serve him in front of his coworkers. I told her I didn't care how it made me look. I just wanted out. But the real twist came 2 days later. Amanda and I were at a diner grabbing breakfast, eggs, toast, hash browns, when her phone buzzed. She picked up, frowned, then handed it to me. It was a message from an old friend of mine. Tanya. We hadn't talked since college. The message read, "Hey, I don't want to get involved, but I saw your sister's post and thought you should know. Tyler's been on Tinder for months. I matched with him last October. He said he was separated." I just stared at the screen. My chest went cold. Amanda reached for her coffee. "Tell her to send screenshots." Tanya sent them. 6 messages. Pictures of Tyler in our kitchen. One message where he wrote, "My wife and I are pretty much done. Just living together till we split. October." That was when I first started having complications. That was when he'd come home late and said he was working overtime. He was cheating. While I was pregnant. While I was trying to keep our baby safe. I sat there in that booth, in that cheap little diner, staring at his smiling face in the screenshots, and I realized, he never planned to stay. He was waiting for me to fail. Amanda reached across the table and said, "We're not done. Not even close." I didn't sleep that night. I just kept staring at those Tinder messages. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face. Laughing. Lying. Smiling in our kitchen while texting strangers that I didn't matter. Amanda sat with me. No lectures. No, I told you so. Just quiet. She knew I was breaking in a way that couldn't be undone. By morning, I wasn't sad anymore. I was done. I told Cheryl to move forward with full divorce filings. I wanted everything documented. I wanted custody. I wanted child support. I wanted it in writing that he left his pregnant, bedridden wife while cheating and letting his mother starve her. Cheryl said, "Let's hit him from every side." She filed for sole custody and attached the screenshots of his messages, the texts about paternity, the neglect. She added the harassment and emotional abuse from his parents. She even got a doctor's note confirming my high-risk condition and the impact of stress on my pregnancy. Then Amanda helped me do something I never thought I'd do, go public. She posted a short message on her Facebook. Not messy. Just facts. My sister is safe now. For those asking, yes, she was pregnant, high risk, and abandoned by her husband and his family during a medical crisis. She's recovering in peace and taking legal steps. The truth will come out soon. We didn't tag anyone. We didn't need to. Within hours, the comments started pouring in. Friends. Family. People I hadn't heard from in years. One person wrote, "I always wondered about Tyler. He always treated her like she was beneath him." Another said, "I saw his profile on Bumble. He told me he had no kids." And one more, "I worked with Denise. She used to brag about keeping her son a free man. I thought she was joking. Guess not." Tyler's lies were coming apart. Then came the fallout. 3 days later, Cheryl got a call from Tyler's lawyer. Suddenly he wanted to work things out privately. He said I was being too dramatic and making him look bad. Cheryl laughed. He did that to himself. He offered to pay for a new apartment if I'd drop the custody demand. I said no. He offered to keep me on his insurance until the birth if I'd stop sharing things online. I still said no. Then he made a mistake. A big one. He filed a motion with the court asking to have me psychologically evaluated. He said he was worried I was unstable and might hurt the baby. That backfired fast. Cheryl submitted a response with medical records, texts, witness statements, and video proof from the motel of Amanda caring for me around the clock. And then Amanda did something I didn't expect. She sent all the evidence to Tyler's job's HR department, anonymously. Why? Because Tyler worked in finance. High up. The kind of job that has morality clauses. The kind of job where cheating on your pregnant wife and trying to evict her while asking for a fake psych eval isn't a personal issue. It's character concern. 2 days later, Tyler got fired. He tried to call me that night. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. "You ruined my life. You crazy bitch. I hope you choke on your own guilt." I forwarded it to Cheryl and the judge. When the court date came, I showed up with Amanda and Cheryl by my side. I was 36 weeks by then, huge and exhausted, but clear-headed for the first time in months. Tyler came alone. Denise and Martin weren't there. Cheryl whispered to me that she heard through her contacts they'd kicked him out after he lost his job. Apparently, Denise only respects men who bring home the bacon. He stood there, pale and bitter, while the judge read through the evidence. He tried to lie. Said I ran off without warning. Then Amanda pulled out the photo. It was me, lying in bed, pale and sick, with an empty fridge behind me. A timestamped selfie I took the day they emptied it out. I'd almost deleted it. Amanda told me to save it just in case. The judge looked at it, then looked at Tyler and said, "You had a duty to care for your pregnant wife. You failed." And then retaliated when she left. "The court is awarding sole custody, and your visitation will be supervised pending review." Tyler didn't speak. He just sat down and rubbed his face. I walked out of that courtroom with everything I needed. Sole custody, full child support, continued health insurance through delivery, a restraining order against Denise, but karma wasn't done yet. A week after the hearing, Amanda got a message from a woman named Kelsey. She worked at the same church Denise donated food to. Kelsey said she saw Denise selling the food meant for charity. She was pocketing cash donations from people who thought they were getting help. Amanda forwarded it straight to the church board. 2 days later, Denise was removed from her volunteer position and publicly called out for misuse of donation resources. Her name made the local news. I gave birth 2 weeks later. A baby boy. Healthy. Strong. I named him Noah. Not after anyone. Just a clean start. Amanda stayed with me for the first month. She helped me get into a new apartment. A clean, safe place where I could heal. Tyler tried to text once. "I miss him." That's all it said. I didn't reply. Instead, I printed out the text, framed it, and hung it over my diaper station. A reminder. Not of him, but of the moment I realized I'd never let anyone take everything from me again.